up, you guys? I'm Rori, and you are listening to Rori's Room, the podcast where we discuss anything and everything life throws at us. Welcome to Season 3, More Than Just a Job. I am sitting down with creatives and professionals who are chasing and shaping the work that they have always wanted to do. This season is all about sharing different perspectives from different fields and revealing just how those paths might have changed them along the way. This week, we are sitting down with performer, coach, and choreographer Patti Meadors, whose journey spans from her musical roots in Chicago to building a career from Missouri stages to Wisconsin theaters. Without further ado, let's meet Patti. How are you doing, Patti?
Good. It's so great to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. I have been looking forward to this one because I feel like I know so many of my guests on here, but I don't actually know your story, so I'm really excited to hear what you've got going on.
Yeah, it'll be super fun. It'll be awesome.
How's the weather over by you?
It is unseasonably warm right now. When we're filming this, we're in February, and we just had our little 60-degree fake spring, so it's been super great to get out in the sun and walk around and not be cooped up inside.
Yeah, I just heard about the fake spring yesterday, and here I was trusting the Sun Prairie groundhog. Apparently, it was announced that it was a fake spring, and I am not happy with that, considering I have been going for runs and stuff outside, finally, because I hate being cooped up inside. Not a winter person at all.
I am totally a winter person. I am a February birthday. I love the winter. So Puxatawny, shout out to you, man. Another 6 weeks of winter.
You've lived up in the northern parts your entire life, right?
Yeah, so it's not much colder in here than it is in the burbs of Chicago. So it wasn't too big of a difference.
I feel like Wisconsin, not only is it usually sometimes unpredictably cold, but the weather is also unpredictable in itself. You never know whether it's actually going to be true or not. So the desire to move down south to another state has been really strong this winter.
Sure. It has been very cold this winter, I will say. I'm
crossing my fingers that both you and the groundhog are both wrong, and that the groundhog in Sun Prairie is right.
And I'll be good. Good company with Puxatawny Phil. Me and him against the world, for real.
Okay, so one thing I like to do in this podcast, Patti, is a thing I like to call weekly favorites. In terms of our podcast today, we're going to be doing a piece of media to make it more custom for you. The next thing is one thing you can get behind or agree with, and one thing you can't. So if you'd like to start off the podcast with your media that you would like to recommend.
I am obsessed with Molly Grace. She is an up-and-coming pop artist, a queer pop singer, and she released her debut album in the fall called Blush. And I went to her concert, went to her tour. She is a phenomenal performer, and it's just so much fun to watch. She's a mix of Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, all of the pop girlies that are so popular now that everyone just eats up. Molly Grace is all of that and a bag of chips. She's so good. My favorite song on the album, if I could take a pill and forget everything and listen to this song for the first time again, I would ascend. It's called Lemmy. It's the very first song on the whole album, and you transcend with her. It is such a gorgeous piece of music and so much fun and just such a great album. 10 out of 10, would recommend. And I'm just obsessed with her. She's a great person.
I have never actually heard of her before. I've heard Chappell Roan and a lot of other similar artists, but when was the first time that you found that?
So I found her while I was scrolling on TikTok 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago at this point, because I went to her first album, the Lovesick tour. Or it wasn't her first album. It was she'd released 4 songs and went on a little tour. So I was at her very first tour concert ever in 2023, I want to say, when she did that. And then she went for her full album tour for Blush in 2025. And so it was just such a surreal experience because Milwaukee was her first ever tour spot. And I was at her first ever tour show, and then being able to come back to her debut album tour, she was oh my gosh, is anyone here for this? And I was the only person in the whole crowd who had found her, because she is I don't want to say a TikTok artist because that I think lessens her quality. But a lot of her fans find her from social media. which I think is so common nowadays, that so many people were like just recently on the Molly Grace train. And I was like, I've been a stan for years. I love you. So it was just so much fun. She is just such a blast and seems like the most genuine person ever.
It's always so refreshing to see small artists turn into bigger artists. And especially, not to toot my own horn or anything, or like your own horn, but like to follow their journey and being able to say that you're one of their first fans is like an ego boost.
Oh yeah, one of my friends went and saw Sabrina Carpenter when she was in Madison and like playing a really small venue, literally like months before she blew up. And she asked if I wanted to go, and I was like, man, I don't really know her stuff. Like I don't want to drive out 90 minutes to go see her. And I'm kicking myself to this day that I didn't go see that concert. Because it would have been incredible. Because I love her now, like I love her music. I just wasn't, loyal to her.
I remember
then.
when Sabrina Carpenter was in like Girl Meets World and Boy Meets World, and I loved those shows. They're still one of my favorite comfort shows to this day. But like, I feel like my early artist, I was a big like boy band person in my teenage years, but it wasn't like One Direction. I was like big into like the YouTube boy bands.
Obsessed. I was a huge One Direction fan. I was a Directioner, like had a dodgeball theme, One Direction team, like the whole 9 yards. I had a Niall Horan cutout, like the blankets, like everything. I was,
God.
He lived in my basement and he scared me every time I went down there. Like it was really freaky. And he stayed down there until I was probably like, I got the cutout when I was like 12 probably. And I stayed down there for 8 years. Like my parents only got rid of it like when I was into college. Whenever you'd go down, you'd see like a life-size man cutout and be like,
that's scary. But I would have done the exact same thing. I was really into like O2L and like MagCon. So like one of the first artists that you can probably guess, was Shawn Mendes before he was like big. And I still find it so nostalgic when I listen to his first album, because it's so different than what he does now. Like there's similarities, but like his music now just doesn't hit as good as it did back in like, when was that, like 2014, 2016?
Yeah.
10 years ago, which is crazy. Don't even
So
want to
long
talk
ago.
about that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
One artist I can really listen to on repeat that is like very well known is Ariana Grande. I don't know, I feel like there's just something about her music, and I feel like, Wicked, of course, like as a theater person. I was never a theater person, despite what a lot of people may think. Like, I'm a big video person, and I've always been into film and stuff. So I feel like meeting people, they're always like, you must have done like plays and like stage, and like I was like, no, I never did any of that, because I have huge like fear of like being perceived, even though I'm like big on like media. But like for a while I didn't want to hop on the bandwagon, because I was like, it's probably like a mid musical, like it's probably not even that good.
No, Stephen Schwartz is incredible. Yeah,
I watched the first one, I think it was like last year, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually amazing. I'm not gonna tell anyone, but like it's just like amazing. I haven't seen the second movie yet.
You'll have to let me know what you think. I did see it. I loved the first one. It was really incredible. I think there were parts in the second one that I really, really loved, but the pacing just felt a little slow. The act twos, usually in musicals, like are really like, we're speed running. We've reached the climax of what's happening and we're speed running to the end of the show. So there was a lot of moments where I was like, all right, pick it up. Let's go. I know what's happening. So we need to get there. But like, there were some really standout moments. Like this is kind of a hot take, loved No Place Like Home. Like I loved that song, and Cynthia, I think, sang
I did too.
the pants off that song. Like that was just incredible. No Good Deed, like just the vocal prowess that she has, insane. Like I found the wizard much more charming in this movie than I did in the first one. I was like, in the first one, I could not get behind it. The second one, I was like, okay, sure, I see it, fine, whatever. I think Ariana had some really lovely moments, and for good. I think, every theater girl is crying her eyes out thinking about her best friend and singing that song with her on their senior show or whatever. There are moments that I liked. Overall, I liked the first one way more.
I feel like that's with like a lot of movies and books and stuff too. The first one is always top tier, and then it's very rare that like sequels pass up that.
And I think it's hard too, because there was so much hype like for a year to build around it, that like it was almost set up to like not do the same amount of magic, because it just had so much time for people to like dream up these impossible fantasies and dreams that like could not have happened. I think there's too much critique on it for my liking. I'm like, all right, let's remember these are still people. Like, yes, they're celebrities, but let's be kind and choose like to be cool. Yeah, I liked the first one more, and I don't think that's a crime.
I don't think so either. And I mean, I haven't, like I said, I haven't watched the movie yet, but I have listened to, like, when I was in, I don't even know how this happened. And I think it's more than just a coincidence, considering, like, you're, like, a stage performer. I was like, I started listening to Ariana Grande because I feel like I can listen to all her songs on repeat and still want more. But somehow I think I just started playing, like, all of her music. And then I ended up with Wicked for Good music, and I was like, dang, this is good. And I don't know, her vocal range is always just so amazing. But one of my favorite songs that she has ever had was from her Eternal Sunshine album, Saturn Returns, because I feel like, I don't know, there's just something about hearing, like, not lyrics. Lyrics are great too, but I like hearing dialogue in music. Do you know, like, a little, like, interlude of dialogue?
I'm not familiar, so I'm not like an Ariana Grande like super fan. Like I don't listen to her music like that, so I don't know this song, but I love a little like speak a little bit. Like Grace has a song like that where she's singing, it's the grocery store song where she's like clean up an aisle, like has the little talking beforehand. I think that's really cute. So I'm sure I would love it. I just don't know it.
There's also another song that I really like. I'm not even sure how to pronounce this artist's name, but I found it like a decade ago, maybe. I don't even know if it was out at that time. But it's called Dreams by, I think it's New Ages. It's Nuages. So it's either like New Ages.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's very short. It's very poetic. And I think it's more of like dialogue than it is songs. So if you like poetry, it may be up your alley. But I think with Ariana Grande, it's a little different because, I mean, like, she's a singer. So, like, it's more lyrics than it is. But I don't know. There's just something about hearing dialogue in music.
It's just, like, unexpected. Yeah. You're
yeah.
Like, ooh.
Exactly. And I feel like it, like, kind of encompasses you in, like, the feeling. I don't know. I'm a big words person. And I know I would be a lyrics person too, but I have never really sat down and really dissected lyrics. So moving into the interview, this is all about you. I'm so excited to learn about your story and share with everyone. But I think it's only right that we start with like your early roots. So where you were as a child and how that impacted you, etc. And what would be better than your first show, which you said you performed at 7 years old, right?
Yes, I was in like a tiny little day camp situation, and ironically it was like Wizard of Oz, Wicked, The Wiz themed. So I was like literally 7 years old, and I was like the lion, like I was like the tiniest one there, and I was like, nope. And I like was Elphaba in one of the like Wicked songs, and so it wasn't a full show, but it was like a performance workshop situation. Like I did a bunch of those when I was really young. And it just, I mean, they're just so much fun. And I do a lot of like one of my first jobs out of college was teaching that age of musical theater. And gosh, I can like only look back at my teacher and imagine like the insane things I must have said to her, because those kids would say
always
insane things to me. Yeah. So that was just like, it was such a special place. It was Actors Garden I think they're based in Oak Park, which is where I grew up, right outside Chicago. And they do a ton of like theater workshops for kids and work so hard at advocating for arts education and accessible arts education for kids. And so love them, love their program, like love arts education just as a whole. It's so important for kids to have that outlet to express themselves.
How did starting so young shape the way that you view performance?
What a great question. So both of my parents are musicians, and my mom worked when I was very, very young. Like she still was actively working as a musician, and she now they both work in nonprofit, and she works in a nonprofit where we go to concerts a lot. So I was raised on like concert etiquette, and like when I say concert etiquette, I mean like Bach, Mozart, like classical concerts, opera, like I was not going to like a rave at 3 years old, but I was falling asleep to like Handel being played. So I think, I mean, being in those spaces and like being with performers at such a young age, like that was just such a normal life for me, that moving over into being really serious about performing and singing and doing musical theater, it was just such a natural transition because it was what I was used to like growing up. Like I just was so lucky to have parents who appreciated the arts so much and encouraged me to, discover what I loved the most about the arts and what kind of avenue and niche I wanted to find. So it was so wonderful to have parents who just were so like And I still do have them. Oh my gosh, I'm talking about them like they're dead. They're not dead. They're still alive. Shout out to
Good
Julie and Greg.
clarification.
Yeah. So they are
Shout
like
out, Mom and
massively
Dad.
supportive. Yeah, they don't miss. I don't think they've ever missed a show that I've done ever. Like even when I was 6.5 hours away at school, like they'd come down for all of my performances. Like even if I was third rat from the right, like they were there, and just like so supportive. And I'm so lucky. I'm just, the luckiest girl in the world to have parents who support me like that. So
Do you think that support system was what made you have more confidence in performing?
absolutely, yeah. So I teach a lot of middle school aged and high school aged students in my like vocal coaching studio, and all of my kids, like they all have parents who, even if they don't understand it necessarily, like if they are sports parents or they grew up doing a completely different thing, they are so willing to just get 100% behind their student and their child, like, finding something that they love. And I think that's something that, like when a kid has that, it just really, it's so beneficial to them. I don't know like the exact research behind it or like science-wise what it does, but I can imagine that the support that when kids have supportive parents versus unsupportive parents, like they just flourish and thrive.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no contact. So like I grew up in like an abusive household. So like I've had to come from like build my career from the ground up, and it's definitely hard. So I'm always like in awe of people who have families that are supportive, and you can clearly see how much that they flourish. And I can only imagine like you growing up in a family of musicians where your parents met in like middle school band,
Yeah.
and you said your grandfather was the teacher, and
Yeah, the band director. Yep.
it's the whole family. So like I can only imagine that you had a constant support system growing up, and you can tell that it's influenced your performance today.
Yeah. Well, and absolutely, it's a total thing of like the familial support, like on multiple levels, because performance is and a lot of the arts are such an expensive career. Having parents that are able to financially support their kids like into adulthood, I'm thankful to be able to support myself, but I do know that a lot of performers like rely on parental support, and like if they have that parental support, they're able to pursue something much longer. And that's why you see such like a smaller amount of older performers, because people just get basically like phased out because they can't afford it. And it's like really unfortunate that we
Yeah.
lose so many amazing like artists and voices just because it's not like, the society that we live in is so focused on capitalism and making money and how are we stimulating the economy,
Yeah.
and less about how can we create beautiful art and support the people around us.
Don't even get me started. I feel like there's so much to talk about there. It's like it makes me mad and sad at the same time. It's a whole variety of different emotions, but like with art, at least, I mean, I'm sure this with like a lot of things, like if you want something bad enough, you'll go out and get it. But like the whole system with like things being too expensive, like hobbies, is just, it bugged me, because like you can't really full send into something unless you have resources, which is another reason why a support system is very, very important, because a lot of businesses are about connections, and like different areas of studies about connections, and especially in this day and age where everything's digital and like you have social media and stuff, like you want to make connections with people and meet new people that you can work with, etc. So like working in this field and having those connections is very important.
Yeah.
And especially if you're going to work in like a lot of different areas of work like you do. Like you have your coaching, your choreography, your stage work, and you work short films occasionally. So it's like, I feel
So
like a
many
lot
things.
of people in the arts are also very versatile in that way,
Yeah,
because you kind of have to be,
absolutely.
especially with like the rise of AI. I didn't add any of those questions, but
Yeah,
that's a topic that we can talk about.
yeah.
How does that affect like theater? I know it affects a lot of digital art and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
writing and stuff. But, like, doesn't
So-
affect theater at all.
I've actually started just this year putting into all of my contracts that how did I word it? That I like don't want my like face or voice or video or likeness put through any sort of generative artificial intelligence, just because there's not any sort of like restrictions or like tons of laws surrounding it, that if I input, say, my headshot, then that's could be used to make the next Tilly Norwood or whoever that AI actress is. Like,
Oh my gosh.
and it's the environmental impact of it. Like, we can't do theater if the world is literally on fire. Like,
Yeah.
No one's gonna come see a production of Seussical the Musical when there's like floods because all the ice caps have melted. So it's something that's like really important to me, like as an artist, to like not use that and not to just say that like I'm putting my foot down. I'm not willing to be put through artificial intelligence until there's mandates and restrictions and the things put in place to like protect the environment and protect the people who use it.
You work in a lot of different voices, both literally in singing and figuratively in your creative work. So I'm curious how you approach discovering and utilizing those distinct voices.
Yeah, when I'm building a character, I'm trying to think of like my most distinct voice that I've had to do. I guess my most unique one that I've had to do, I worked at the zoo as a performer, and one of the shows we did 15-minute educational shows for the guests at the zoo, and I played a chicken puppet named Clucky. I love Clucky. I wish I could have taken Clucky home. Like, Clucky was just everything to me. And Clucky was very bizarre and quirky and outgoing and silly, and like Clucky wasn't dumb by any means. Like, I think a lot of people are Clucky haters and we're like, Clucky's just dumb. Clucky's not dumb. Clucky's naive to the troubles and traumas of the world.
Me too.
So, right? You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
You gotta be if you want to be happy.
Exactly. Clucky just was chasing happiness. And what was really unique about it is that I had to sing in the Clucky voice too. So I had like a very distinct Clucky voice that was almost like Carl Weezer's voice from Jimmy Neutron. So we'd have to do like announcements before the show to be like, the show's happening in 15 minutes. And they'd always ask us to do it like in the style of whatever character we were doing, whatever character we were playing. And so before, I remember like, once I figured out that Clucky's voice sounded just like my Jimmy Neutron Carl Weezer voice, before we do any of those announcements, I would just do my little like Jimmy's mom right before a couple times, and then get into the Clucky voice. So just is really
showed us that. I didn't have to ask. I was going to.
I knew you were gonna ask, so I was like, I'm just gonna give it like willingly and freely. So it's just about finding like the character and like what. If they call, like, if the character is British or Scottish or whatever, like having that specific accent, but then finding the cadence and the lilt in their voice. I'm working on Matilda the musical right now at a high school and talking about the differences between how I love Matilda. I played Mrs. Wormwood several years ago and love Matilda. But the difference between
members just like die, like the principal, didn't she die recently?
Maybe. I'm not as familiar with the movie as I am with the musical, so I don't know.
Is there a difference?
There is. So the musical, Mrs. Wormwood is a competition salsa dancer, and there's like more moments of magic in the musical than I think there is in the movie. And they're British in the musical. They're not British in the movie, but in the musical they're British, right? Because it's.
I think so.
What's her face? And she's not British. I mean, obviously she could have done an accent, but she was like 7 when she filmed that. I'm trying to think of her name. Anyway, so they're British in the musical because it was on the West End first, which is like Broadway for London.
Mara Wilson.
Yes. So they're British in the musical. So a lot of like that verbiage has changed. Like they say very British things sometimes. Like instead of saying like, I'm trying to think of one. Instead of calling it a TV, they call it the telly. Like that seems very British to me. Anyway, so finding like, I've been talking with our students about finding like Miss Honey and how her voice is much softer and more melodic versus Miss Wormwood, who is like very brash in your face, like yelly nasally. And it's just been so fun to explore that with the kids and find it in their own voice.
I just thought of a question too that I didn't write down. But because like in acting and stuff, do you ever feel like a sort of relief being another character? Like
1000%. 1000%. It is so much easier to go out and like be a different character than be yourself. I get really bad audition anxiety. Mm-hmm. I struggle with it really, really hard. I take a beta blocker now, which is something that I'm very, very, very transparent about. It is basically like a rescue anxiety medication that people take when they're having like panic attacks. Mm-hmm. Love it down. Love my beta blocker. I take it 30 to 45 minutes to an hour before my audition, and it just levels me out and I'm able to perform to my best capacity. And so I get bad audition anxiety, but I am fine during the shows. Like I'm fine all through rehearsals, all through the shows. Like I don't get nervous after the audition. It's just the audition makes me so nervous. The first time I was ever nervous in my professional career was when I was playing myself. I was in like a concert basically, where it was just like me singing a song. And I remember like being backstage and I was wearing my own clothes, like the whole 9 yards. Remember like being backstage so nervous because I was like, I guess the right phrase is hiding behind a character. Like they're just seeing me and they're not seeing me playing a character. It's so much easier to like fit yourself into a character and be like, yeah, this is what this calls for. Like I can be silly and goofy and out there and all this stuff, and that's what the character calls for. It's so much harder to just go out and like bare your soul as yourself.
It's interesting that you say that because I feel like a lot of people would say the otherwise.
I would disagree. I think a lot of performers love a character.
Performers for sure. I feel like a lot would agree with you.
Non-performers though, 100%.
If you're not a performer, like personally, I've always been behind the scenes. So like, actually yesterday, I forgot to cast one additional character for my script, and it always happens. And I had to get in the frame, and I was like, oh no! And it was like my worst fear. And I think I end up even like cutting that scene out because I just didn't want to get in front of the camera so bad. I was like, you know what? Scrapped. Like, we're just gonna skip right past it. So like, I think it's definitely true that like performers could easily fall into that role, which I feel like is something to be extremely thankful for. And like, you can definitely tell that that's because of immense practice. But non-performers, even if you're involved in like creative stuff like film, I feel like it's a lot harder to get into that character because like you don't have that practice, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I admire you guys for that. I honestly
have to be like a certain level of crazy to get behind it, you know?
I want that though. Like I want to be that crazy. If I had a better upbringing, I think I would have loved theater, but I think because it's so late into my career, I think it just would be so much harder for me to get into it, you know?
It's never too late. It's never too late, Diva. Chase dreams that you've always had. Like, do what you want. I am a firm advocate for this. Like, if you're waiting for a sign to go try something for the first time, let this be your sign. Go do it. Like, if you always wanted to do something when you were growing up, try it once, see if you like it. See what happens. Go to a community theater show. Go to an audition. Go to an open mic night. Like, bring some friends with you. Like, what is life if not experiencing like little joys and finding the whimsical nature that we're all chasing? And theater is just that. Go to a show.
You know what? Hell yeah.
You know, it's just
absolutely.
It's so fun. And I
especially in like the Milwaukee area, I feel like there's so much.
Well, and everywhere. I mean, there's like people crave like the community that theater gives. Like, go do a show, like go audition for community theater, like go be second tree from the right and like make the best of friends and sing for good on closing night. Like, it is just a magical experience that I really think that everyone should be able to experience once in their life. It's just so beautiful. And like, if it's something that you've always wanted to do, go do it. Go chase your dreams. Go chase your dreams.
We need more people with these motivational speeches. Did you have any person like that growing up, like a teacher or anyone that changed the way you viewed performance?
I was so lucky. All of my music teachers and directors, like, I don't like that I can really think of that shaped me. I didn't have any bad ones or any ones that were like really specifically like amazing. My middle school choir teacher, loved her. Miss Albers, if you're listening to this, I still call you Miss Albers, but love you down. Like, my high school choir teacher, my high school director, like my elementary school music teacher, like, just, I had so many amazing adults in my life who really encouraged me and supported me. My voice teachers growing up, I never, like, those who were in my corner and rooting for me cheered so loud that I didn't hear the people who weren't cheering for me.
That's what you need too.
Yeah. Just, so I'm very lucky.
How has that support system changed with like, as your career has gone? Especially with like, you were originally from Chicago, right?
Yeah.
How did that support system fluctuate between your moves from Chicago to Missouri to Milwaukee?
Yeah, so in college, like, a lot of my professors like became that support system, and like a lot of my friends. I did have like my voice teacher will come see like her student shows still, like, to this day. Like, she is wildly supportive. I've had like my middle school choir teacher came and saw my Milwaukee debut. Like, I'm so lucky. Like, the more that I talk about it, the more that I realize that like the people in my life who support me and cheer for me, like, and are there for me, are truly and wholeheartedly like in my corner in a way that I just like can't even fathom and begin to like explain. It's really just magical. I'm so lucky.
I'm really glad that you had that good support system, and especially with I feel like a lot of people focus on the support system you have growing up, but it's really important to have that throughout your entire life.
Yeah, and it shifts and
especially
changes.
Through shifts. Yeah.
Finding
college,
that moving from Missouri up to Wisconsin, that first year was so challenging because it was I didn't have that built-in support system, starting from scratch and building something new. That first year was really hard. I moved up here with my partner, and of course we had each other, but it's such a challenge to just find new friends and find people who will come see your shows and who want to come see your shows, and you want to go see theirs, and you want to get coffee with them and go to brunch. And so that first year was really challenging, but now that I've built these friendships and maintained ones from Chicago and rekindled old ones from middle school and high school, it's become much easier. But moving out of state, to a brand new place, that is something that I think is not really touched on a lot in adulthood, to talk about how challenging that is and how isolating it can be.
Yeah. Is there if you had to pick some really crucial shifts that happened to you from childhood to your more serious training, what would it be?
I quit softball I quit softball and Girl Scouts to do theater when I was in middle school. I didn't have time to do both.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I loved playing softball growing up. I play softball in a recreational league now. I just won Rookie of the Year in my league. So it's something that I've yeah, no big deal. I'm basically going to the Olympics for softball. No, it's rediscovering those things that I loved now is really great. But when I was 13, my parents were you don't have time for both. You got to pick one.
Yeah.
And I was well, I love theater. I love both. I want to do both. And they're you got to pick one. There's just not enough time in the day. You have to pick one. And so I made that very hard decision as a 13-year-old, which I think is insane. And I started really, really training. I was in a more competitive children's choir. I went to sleepaway arts camps. I stopped going to sleepaway just regular camps, and I would go to specific training camps, where I was spending 2 weeks singing, dancing, acting all day, every day, completely immersed in it, and just really narrowed in on that path. So I guess then choosing where I went to school was a huge one. I auditioned for over 30 colleges and applied to over 30 because a BFA program is incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
And then deciding where I went and deciding, okay, my dream school is this place, but this place is giving me a bunch of money. What do I do? Making these decisions. And I'm really happy with where I ended up and felt I got a good education and did not have to, build myself with student loans.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing is going into massive amount of debt. This is not a very lucrative career, and it's not necessarily something that you're going to be able to pay back those loans right away. So shout out to 18-year-old me who was okay, great. Yeah. Let's go to a place that'll offer us more money so we don't have to take out hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans. And
I almost went to a private art school in Georgia, which would have been a little
crazy.
Less than double what I'm paying now, just barely less than double.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think how much debt I'm in, but at least it's not $100,000,
Yeah. Well, and
it
that's
could
the
be
thing.
way worse.
It could be it could be much more, and that's once student loan repayment stuff is starting back, then it's okay, well now I have to get another job, and then it's hindering what you can audition for and what you can do because you just don't. There's not enough time in the day to do everything. So, and then deciding to move to Milwaukee.
It's really easy to look past too as an 18-year-old who's
because you're not thinking about that.
Rose-colored glasses.
You're big dreams. I'm going to be on Broadway. I'm going to be touring the world as a pop star, whatever. But I'm glad 18-year-old me touched some grass and decided, yeah, let's go where they give me a good scholarship.
Yeah. Is that what drew you to Southeast Missouri State University?
Yeah, so I auditioned at Illinois Theater Fest, which is where they get all the high school theater kids from the state, basically, and they round them up into one college campus, and they're good luck, Charlie, have fun. There's shows that get performed, and you do master classes, and it was such a good time. I could not imagine the logistics of organizing thousands of high school students into one place. That seems so foul and festering. I would not want that as my job, and I admire those who do.
If I had to work with kids, it would be anyone else.
Sure.
Any other age group.
I'm fine working because the show that I'm working on right now is high school students. There's almost 30 of them, and I wrapping my head around getting all of their schedules worked out is already enough. I can't imagine thousands. So I auditioned at Theater Fest because they had college auditions where they basically just had a room full of like probably 50 colleges and like their professors or whoever was auditioning for them sitting in, and then you'd go and you do your 2-minute package, which was your slate. You have to say like your name, where you're from, whatever, what pieces you're doing, and then a monologue and a song. And I got into SEMO from that. A lot of places will give you like callbacks and be like, oh, we want to see you at our in-person auditions. I was admitted from that audition, which was like, that was a magical feeling in itself, that I was like, oh my gosh, they like me, they want me. And I'd come off of getting a bunch of rejections from other schools. It was like early January when I auditioned for them. So once it all shook out and I was touring schools, the places that I had gotten into, they had a beautiful campus, and I like met with the professor that I auditioned for in the first place. And she was like, I remember you. I remember like you had such like, I loved the song that you picked. She was like, that was my senior show. Like when I was a senior in high school, that was the show that we did. And it was a very not well-known show at all. It wasn't like I was singing On My Own for Les Mis or something, but it was like the fact that she remembered and could tell me exactly what show it was from, and it wasn't just like, oh yeah, like you were good, whatever, like I saw 300 people that day, was just really exemplary to me. And they did give me a good scholarship, and I was able to go there without taking out massive amounts of loans, which was what I was really looking for and what my family was looking for. And so it ended up being a good fit for me.
You mentioned that you wanted to improve in your dance.
Yeah.
I can only imagine like it's really important to like stage shows, like more so than studio performances like movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what did that decision teach you, and at what point did dance shift from something to improve to something you more so fell in love with?
So I quit dancing when I was little. I was not good at it, and I was always like big as a kid, like tall, and like just like I did gymnastics growing up, and I was heavier set as a kid, and so like I didn't see myself in like a ballet studio. Like I was like, well, I don't want to go somewhere where like there's not other girls who look like me.
Yeah.
And that's coming from such a like, ballet is a very Eurocentric place. Like I'm white. Like I recognize that a lot of ballerinas do look like me, but it was like growing up, that was like, you know, there was not a lot of like mid-sized dancers. So I just was like, I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to care about it, and whatever. And when I was in high school, I was like, dang, like I should really, like my dance is not the best. Like I should really get back into dance class. But at that point, I was still too young to be in the adult classes, the adult beginner classes, but too old to be in the beginner classes. So it was like me at 14 years old, 5'8", with a bunch of literal 7-year-olds taking baby ballet, and that was humiliating. So I was like, I'm not doing this, whatever. As soon as I hit, it was like 16 or 17 when I could start taking the adult classes, the adult beginner classes. I started going to those and like really being like, oh, I like this a lot. Like I want to get better at it. I'm not good at it right now, and I want to improve. But it was just a thing of like, well, do I want to take voice lessons or do I want to take dance class? And I love to sing. So I was like, I'm not willing to give up my voice lessons to take dance class. So when I was looking at schools, I was like, I want a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater because I was an 18-year-old and blind to like anything else. The BFA or bust mindset needs to be studied. And I wanted to minor in dance was my big thing. Because I wasn't as strong of a dancer, I wanted that opportunity to really heavily cross-train and not be like, oh, well, I'm minoring in French or I'm minoring in this, so I don't have time to like take these extra dance classes. So because of that, I was probably taking an upwards of like anywhere between like 4 and 8 hours of dance class every day throughout my 4 years. And I loved it. And I wish I could go back, and like, I miss taking that much class every day. Like that, being able to jump in like head first and really like cross-train and grow and improve. And I was so lucky to have teachers who like saw my potential. And my freshman year, like I really bonded with one of my dance teachers who gave me so many opportunities that I like have shaped who I am today. I got to assistant choreograph a full musical when I was a sophomore in college after like a year and a half of like intense dance training, and then got my first professional gig assistant choreographing that summer with her. And like it really like it did shape who I am, and it like I fell in love with, especially with choreography and like being able to use that creative mindset to create my own work, which has become another stream of income for me, like as a professional.
Congratulations on that. That's a really amazing accomplishment. I feel like it doesn't get touched on enough. Like that's amazing. And I feel like, especially being like young in college, there's always like, what's it called? Not a myth, misconception that like if you're not experienced enough, you're not going to go anywhere really. But I really am a firm believer that if you want something, you will get it. Like, if you put enough work into something, it's not going to go unnoticed, and people are going to see that you are passionate about this and that you want to work harder, and usually they'll take you under their wing and mentor you, which offers you so many opportunities that you can practice in, which is amazing that you were able to do that, and it's probably laid the groundwork for so many things that you've accomplished.
Yeah. Which is, it's just crazy to think about how my journey has gotten me here today.
Rori's Room is written and produced by myself, Rori Nicole, and you can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. Theme songs and background music were produced by TJ Borkenhagen. You can follow Rori's Room on Instagram @Rori's Room, and follow me at itsrory_x for updates on the show and a few more glimpses in the life behind the mic. If you enjoyed today's episode, drop a review wherever you listened in. The goal of this show is to share my story and the stories of others in a way that makes people feel a little less alone. The next episode will be out June 14th, 2026, where we will be sitting down with dance studio owner, director, and choreographer Casey Dumonceau. Tune in the following week, June 21st, for the final part of Patti's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you all next time in Rori's Room.